Good morning and welcome to the June issue of Green Magazine. I'm Amy Graham, President of the Texas Nursery and Landscape Association. This month I want to talk a little bit about the difference between education and training. We've got the Nursery Landscape Expo just around the corner in August. It's going to be held in Houston at the George R. Brown Convention Center. And featured during Expo is a lot of education. We've got our pre-show education as well as the education conference that's held on Thursday. And then we have some great demonstration stage presentations that are going to be sprinkled out throughout the show. So please look for those opportunities as you're considering when you're going to be attending the show. But back to the topic at hand. What I really wanted to touch base with and maybe explore a little bit is the difference between education and training. You know, they talk about education being the sharing of communication, the actual imparting of information to someone about a particular topic or subject. Training, on the other hand, is talking about learning the skills that it takes to accomplish something. Now, what's the difference? You're just going, wait a minute, that's almost the same. Well, it is, but consider driving a car. When you learned to drive a car, you needed to be educated on the rules of the road. You needed to know what the stop sign meant. You needed to know what the signs, all the signs meant out on the road. You needed to know what speed limits could be driven at what particular times. And that's all great in a classroom setting. You need to know the rules of the road. But you needed to be trained and on the skills that it took to actually get the vehicle down the road. And that took some hands-on patience by a trainer, somebody who actually was going to teach you the skills that it took in order to accomplish what it is that you needed to accomplish. So put that into our world where we are. We have an opportunity, we know, to provide you all a lot of education, and I hope you take great advantage of that. I think the harder thing that happens is the training, the skills training that has to happen sometimes on a daily basis and sometimes just on a periodic basis. And those things are a little harder to accomplish because you sometimes can't send somebody to a place. And I think that when you're training someone, please remember that they need to have the education about whatever it is that you're wanting to train them on prior to them really digging into the skills. Sometimes we set our people up for failure because we haven't provided them the appropriate education first before we've asked them to do the training actually on the accomplishment of a task. So the last thing that I want to explore too is just because someone is really good at a task and completing something doesn't mean they're always going to be the best trainers or educators. In fact, both educating and training our employees and people in general, whether it's a child or whether it's an employee, takes a lot of patience, takes a great deal of communication skills to make sure that what you are saying as a teacher, a trainer, is actually being received by that individual the way we want it to be received. So a lot of things that go into actually educating and training our employees or anybody you're trying to get to do something to accomplish a task. Thought that was kind of interesting, a bit timely when it comes to the expo just around the corner. I would encourage if an owner, supervisor is going to be sending folks to the education conference, it's a great opportunity to give them the education they need. You can figure out what they've learned and then help them actually put the skills to putting it into place once they get back home into your shop. So there's the message for the month. I'm looking forward to seeing many of you, if not all of you, in just a couple months at the Nursery Landscape Expo. The hotel registration is up and running. The registration for the show and all the education conferences is up and running. Log on to nurserylandscapeexpo.org and you'll find just a whole lot of information to make your visit, your show, all that it can be. Until then, thanks again. Bye-bye.